Good morning and happy summer. I am Christina Felchlin, Director of Technology Consulting here with LedgeView. I'd like to welcome you to today's Dynamics 365 User Group webinar with our Spotlight training topic of reports. For our current customers, welcome back. For those new to LedgeView partners, we are a business and technology consulting company who partners with organizations to transform sales, marketing, and customer service operations and processes that are supported by core technologies including customer relationship management and marketing automation. We provide strategic business advice, process definition, and technology solutions to advance your business. Our marketing team has been very busy. We recently published 6 new ebooks on driving growth with marketing automation, including a master ebook guide and supplementary mini ebooks that are topic specific to find the success you need in the way you need it. But they didn't stop there. They've also published 8 complimentary infographics on driving growth and marketing automation that are easy to share with your team, industry peers, and admins. As always, we have many blogs published month to month on a variety of topics, including CRM user tips you'll find in the webinars like this, ebook-focused blog posts, thought leadership, social media tips, and much, much more. This month, we are proud to share 2 new case studies, both on Microsoft Dynamics 365 with Maurice Peers and Sharp Group. You can check all this out when you visit our website, ledgeviewpartners.com. For our agenda today, we are going to cover reports, user-submitted questions, and CRM resources. I know our spotlight topic is a repeat, but it's a common question we receive in support, so we want to give you all the tips and tricks so you know all the data methods Dynamics has to offer, so you know when or when not to use them. Now, to get to today's featured topic, I'll turn over to Michael Dodds, support consultant with LedgeView Partners, as he dives deeper into Dynamics 365 reports and other data retrieval methods. Michael?
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction, Christina. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And thank you, as always, for attending these webinars. I truly do appreciate it. I hope your weather has been great here, and as our marketing group always likes to say, here's your daily weather. It's nice and sunny here. Summer in Wisconsin is always nice because it really doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold. So I hope wherever you are, you're having a great summer. But we got a lot of great information to get into, so let's jump on in. As Christina said, we're jumping into reports today, which is a way as a user you can really take data out of CRM, slice it and dice it the way you want to. I'm going to show you how easy and how effective that can be for you. Before we get into this, I always like to start off whenever we go into a data analysis method. I like to remind you of all the different methods that are out there and when you should use them and when you shouldn't, just to help you keep them straight, because there's a lot of information out there in a lot of different ways. So there's advanced find or neighborhood friendly advanced find. Okay, that's really used for a one-time data set. A set point in time or a date range, that's really when you're going to be using this. Not when it's dynamic, not when it's going to see the data frequently. That's when you're using a view. And anybody who's heard my webinars, I hammer it on you all the time. Save your view, make it dynamic. That way you can always repeat and see it. Christina's probably shaking her head right now because I always tell her about it too. When you don't use a view, when it's an advanced find, when it's a one-time data pull, set data period. Okay. Dashboard. It's really a viewing items graphically. If you think about it, advanced find in a view is just the data. A chart is a pretty picture of that. A dashboard is a repository for that information. Okay. So you're viewing items graphically of those charts. You're combining like data sets. You want to be able to drill down into those charts. You want to compare 2 different charts side by side. That's a really great use for a chart. You don't need unrelated items in the same dashboard. And the ability to group raw data. If you're looking at raw data, you're more looking at a view. Okay? Or a report, because you're grouping those. Excuse me, I should have said a report. And that's what we're getting into today, because you're grouping it. So that's more what we're going to go into today. So reports, this is when you want to look at data in set groupings. You can do up to 3 groupings. You want to do numeric values with summation. You want to be able to do charts and data together with those groupings and those summations. Okay. Highly customized reports and charts, unique logic that requires customization. That's going to be a custom SSRS report. Okay, that's at the bottom there. Not going to use a report wizard report for that. Excel templates, this is a little bit newer. Came out in 2016. This is when you want to create Excel pivot charts and tables, set conditional formatting, set columns to export regardless of the view you're utilizing. You want to add columns based on information exported. So you export some information. You want to do a calculation and add another column. Everybody's probably thinking about this going, yeah, you just export it and then do this calculation. Well, what if you want to do all of these, including formulas, but do it one time ahead of the template, and then every time you export it, it's rerunning this information for you regardless of the data you're pulling out. It's just rerunning it based on that data. That's an Excel template. Very, very powerful tool. You have the ability to filter after the template is exported. You compare calculated fields utilizing Excel logic. You're not going to use this. You can't get the field on the Excel template. Okay, one-to-many relationships. An Excel logic really is not going to be used to get the information you need. And when a report wizard, dashboard, Excel template, or view, any of those is not getting this information, obviously you're not going to use any of these. You're going to use a custom report then. When you want to distribute a report, it's appealing without utilizing Excel template. Comparison with calculated fields, filtering after the report is generated, customized charts, columns not related to the data, related records with no data. That's a little bit different. Related records with no data is actually something now you can finally do with Advanced Find. That's something that they just added in 9.0. You can actually now pull and say, show me all accounts that have no contacts. So that's a new thing that you can do. So that's a brand new thing, but there's still some pieces where if you want to filter down a little bit further, you're going to have to use custom reports. However, your first line of defense is always going to be these other items because they're in CRM. They're faster, they're easier, an everyday user can do these things. Custom reports requires development skill. Okay. Now we're going to jump into reports. So we're going to start off with a demo. Okay. So I've created this demo, but I'm going to walk you through how it was created. Okay. What we're basically doing is we're looking at accounts and associated opportunities. We're filtering on active accounts and opportunities that are won. We're going to group by the owner of the account, then by the account field on the opportunity, and then by the actual close date on the opportunity. And then narrow that focus even more to the month that it was closed in. And we want the count for all three. Okay. Then we have a listing of columns. We're going to give the account name, the full name of the contact associated to an opportunity. So we go to the related opportunity, then go to the related contact, go in there and grab the full name. It's a really cool feature that you can do. The opportunity type, the industry on the account, and then finally grab the actual revenue. We're going to sum that. That's really important because summing opens up the ability for a chart. We're going to then do a horizontal chart broken down by owner, and we're going to show the sum of the actual revenue. Okay, many of you are probably thinking, oh my God, I didn't sign up for an hour-long webinar. Trust me, this is not going to take that long. And I'll show you how easy it is. So let's jump on into CRM. And I'm going to open up our report. So if you want to run the report, you can just double click on it and then it'll run the report for you. Or what we're going to do is we're going to go to edit. Okay, so click on it, go to edit. I apologize. CRM is running a little bit slow for me today. Apparently, it is not ready for Wednesday. It is not ready for, it's thinking it's nice outside. It doesn't want to quite respond for me. So let me close those out. Let me open it back up one more time. All right, so very important, check mark edit. This is what you do when you want to edit an existing report. So then we click this little report wizard icon right here. We're going to overwrite this existing report. If we were starting from new, we would have done new right here. Okay? Would have done a start a new report. Otherwise, it's going to be very similar. Okay? We do next. Give it a name. Primary record type, accounts. Related record types. These are going to be related to our primary. Opportunities. Next. Now we do our filtering. Okay? So within our filtering, we've got the status equals active for our accounts. And then under opportunities, we got our status equals 1. Okay? So that means primarily this is independent, okay, of this. Okay? That means it's bringing back all accounts that are active. It does not care about the opportunities associated. It doesn't care about that at all. It's bringing back every single active account. Then the opportunities that it's bringing back associated to those active accounts must be 1. Okay? So then we click next. Now this is where we have our groupings and our columns. So if we click here, this is where we would have added our grouping. So if we click on here, I'm going to change properties. So I have accounts, owner. So that's a record type, owner. I did a summary type of count. Basically, I want a count of the owner. And then I did the account, but I did this through the opportunity. The opportunity account. Okay? And then the actual close date, I did the month. Okay? If I want to remove this, I can just go remove column or grouping, and then I can add it. So I'll show you what it looks like when we want to add it. So I would just change my record type to opportunities, and then I would set this to actual, close date, set this to time interval, to month. I want to count. I go OK. And then this is where I set my columns. Okay. So we're telling you the full name of contact. So basically what I did here was I went into the contact, and I'll show you how to do this. I'll remove this one. I'm going to re-add it. So what I did was, you see you have accounts and opportunities. Those are the two main ones on the report. Then we come down, we have related to accounts, and we have related to opportunities. Contact is a lookup field on opportunities, so it's the one side of a one-to-many relationship. We can grab it. Okay? So we grab this information. Oops, contact, apologize. Contact, full name. Click OK. And then we use these arrows to move it over. Okay? If I wanted to move these around, I use my up-down arrows. Okay? Now, if I want to configure sorting, I just do configure sorting. Now notice how there's only 2 fields. We're going, wait, there's a lot more than 2 fields on here. Why can I only sort by 2 fields? You can only sort by column fields that are on the primary entity. That primary entity was account. So account name, industry. Those are the only ones that are on the account. Okay. And then again, you can remove, you can add. Okay. And then you can set a top or bottom number rule. You can only do that if you have a summary field. So because we have one in actual revenue right here, you could set a top or bottom number. Come back and click next. Now you can just do a table. Like, I only want the results. That's it. I don't want a chart. I don't want a picture involved. Okay? Or you can do a chart and table where you show the chart and then the table underneath it. Or, this is pretty neat, you show a chart, and then if you click into different areas of the chart, then you show the table data information related to that section of the chart. Okay, we're going to use the chart and table, show the table below the chart. Click next. We're going to do a horizontal bar chart. Your y-axis are your groupings. So we can group by the owner, the account, or the actual close date. Do it by any one of those. We can group by two different values here. They have to be summation values, okay? I only have one summation value, so I can only do one. Now, if I go back, if I did a pie chart, I only have one. I can only do one sum, okay? So if I had two summation values, pie chart's not really going to give me the most bang for my buck, okay? So I go back and I do a horizontal. I click next. And then you can do show data labels, show legend. Click next. Gives you a summary. We're doing a data report. Primary record is accounts. Related record type is opportunities. Click next. And then we click finish. Okay. And then we click run report. And then it's going to run our report for us. The chart, these are very, very basic charts. One of the reasons why you use different methods is because, as you can see here, they just kind of put the numbers in here. Sometimes it doesn't always look the greatest. Okay, so it's a report wizard. Okay, so there's not much that we can do with this. Okay, so that's just an important piece to keep in mind. This is kind of out of the box how it looks. And then when you click next, here's how the grouping works. We start off with owner, so Alan Steiner. Steiner has 21 records, okay? Then we jump in. Well, count is not a required field on opportunity, so not specified. Actual close date, not specified. Gonna put the information in. Blank, okay? That one's not a great one to look at, but if we look at like City and Power and Lights, there's one of them. December 2018, there's the information. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. It's going to sum it up for each one. So for February, for November, sum it up for 4th, coffee. Okay. Then if we go to the bottom of Alan Steiner, it's going to give also a total for Alan Steiner. Okay. We go to the very, very end of the report, gives us a grand total for the entire report. Okay. So a reporting wizard can be a very, very powerful tool. Okay. And then you can export it to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF. These are different areas that you can export this chart to, or excuse me, this report to. If you want to come back and edit your filter, so if you come back in and you're like, I want to add the industry. I want to do, let's say the industry is counting. Run report. You can do that. Changes your results. No data now. Okay? So you can do that on the fly. So that means, well, why did we set that filtering ahead of time? That filtering is actually called default filtering. Okay? So if we jump back to our PowerPoint presentation, we're going to stop our presentation. We're going to get time for our first pro tip. Our first pro tip is, talked about it for a little bit, the filtering for that primary record, it's independent of the related record filtering. Meaning, we were looking at active accounts. If you remember advanced find filtering, sometimes we'll do it where we'll go, show me all active accounts that have an opportunity that has been won. Okay, that means it's only going to show us active accounts where it has at least one opportunity that's ever been won. That's not what this is doing. It's showing us every single active account. And then of those active accounts, the related filtering will only show records that are related to records that meet the primary record filtering. So those won opportunities must be associated to those active accounts. Okay. So that's what it's doing there. So that's just a pro tip to remember. So your default filters. We set our default filters when we created the report. There's a really easy way to edit your default filters. And to do that, we're going to jump back into our report, and I'll jump back into CRM, and I'll show you how easy that is. So if we go and we just check mark our report, edit default filter. What's great is you don't even have to jump back to the other page and run the report. You just run the report. So if I wanted to change this, to both active and inactive. You don't need to change that. You would just remove the status, to be honest with you. You make the change, save the default filter, run report. That's all you have to do. It's as easy as that. Pro tip number 2. So those top and bottom rules, this will only work if you have a numeric column and you have set the summary type. If you have a numeric column but you didn't set the summary type, you can't do a top and bottom rule. Won't allow you to. Now, editing the report, we did that piece, okay? But here's an important item. So when we went through and I showed you how to go through the report there, because I had pre-made the report, if you wanted to make a copy of it, so yes, I love this report, but I just want to make a small tweak, but I want to leave this report as it is. I just want this to be a new one. All you have to do is simply do these next steps. So I'll show you how to do that. Let's jump on it. Demo report, edit, report wizard, uncheck override existing report. Click next. So let's say for this one, I want to do top bottom rules. Okay. Click next through it. I want to set the top bottom rule for the sum. I want to do a top 2. Okay. So I go next, all the way through. So I wanted to keep everything else the same. I just wanted to set the top bottom rule. So I finish. Demo report, put that name on it. So then I do run report. Now it's only showing me the top 2 records based on my top bottom rule. Okay. So top 2 accounts. Or excuse me, top 2 owners, because it's going based off grouping. So if I come over here, so it's showing me Alan Steiner and Alicia. And that's it. That's all it's showing me. So it's showing me the top 2 owners. That is it. Okay. So it's showing me the top 2 owners based on the sum of actual revenue. Okay. So top bottom rules are a pretty cool feature that you can set. Okay. If you just want to open up the report, you just double click the report here. This is another way to run the report, but it'll take you to the filtering criteria first. So then you can edit your criteria and then run the report. Okay. Changing where the report can be accessed. So the next pieces I'm going to show you is actually pieces that are not paid attention to too much in a report wizard, but it can have a pretty big effect. The views section within a report is actually, it's not like a standard view within a report. It's actually on each report, you're setting the areas in which it will show. So I'll show you how you can set the different areas or view sections that the report will be displayed in. Also, in the related record section, this is showing you where you're setting what entities that report can be ran from, okay? This is interesting because you can choose an entity that is not even listed on the report at all. Like for the one we just did, you could list cases. And when you do that, it's literally just going to use the default filtering. So it's going to run your default filtering. It's just going to be as if you ran it from the report section. Okay, if you run it from the related entity, from let's say a view, it's going to run the filtering of the related entity on that report. It's going to use the filtering of that view, or if you run it just from a record of the related entity, it's going to go from just that record. I'll show you exactly how that looks. Same thing for the primary entity. So let's jump on in and I'll show you exactly how you set it and what it looks like. So if we jump into this record, again, edit right here. So we're going to say, oh, we want to show this in accounts, and we want to show this in opportunities. So if we scroll down to opportunities, help if I can remember my alphabet. Oh, opportunities. Okay. And then here, this is where I'm saying, hey, where can I display this in? Okay, reports area, that's where I'm in now. And then I also want to say, hey, you can run this from the forms and the list, which is the views section. So I have those all ran. Save and close. Okay, so now I'm just going to navigate. I'm going to go to opportunities. So I have open opportunities right here. And then if I go to my if I go to run report, demo report, to say, do you want to run this on all applicable records? Okay, if I do that, it's just going to run it off the default filter. Or all records on all pages in the current view. That's what I want to do. Run report. It's going to run the report. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the filter. Okay, so I go, hey, let me look at the filter. See how the opportunities filtering changed? Status equals open. It used to be status equals 1. And that's because of the view that I'm on. Okay. Now, if we just open audio equipment, and we run it from here, wait for this to load, and it's going to be in the overflow menu here, which is your 3 dots. So anytime you hear anybody say overflow menu, it means these 3 dots here or more commands. So then we go run report, demo report, pop over here, edit filter, opportunity equals audio equipment. So that's a pretty nice feature. Okay. Security and ownership. Okay, there's different ownerships that can be set, organization or individual. It defaults to individual, but it tends to be set to organization. A lot of people will set that. If you set it to organization, it simply means the security role of report in CRM is basically ignored. It means anybody can run this report. It does not mean that everybody's going to see the data of the report. The data, so like accounts, if you don't have access to see those accounts, you're not going to be able to see that information in the report. It just means that you can run the report. If you set it to individual, however, it's going to look at your security access, and it's going to go, hey, do you have access to run the report? If you have that access, then you can run the report or see the report to run it. Okay, so those are the two differences. Our pro tip number 3, if there are multiple records to the primary record, there will be multiple rows, one for each related record. How to download the report? If we jump back into reports, and we open up our report, I'll just show you with any report here, we just check mark it, click edit. And this is important if you ever need to take a current report in CRM and run it for SSRS. Download report. That's all you got to do. You can open it up in Visual Studio. Our 4th pro tip, you can configure sorting for any field on the report that is from the primary record. Okay. That's it for reports. Now let's jump into our user submitted question. I would like to streamline the flow of the navigation of my CRM org, and I would like to learn how to move the panes and entities or tiles or entity tiles around. Is this possible? Definitely. Definitely possible to do. We're going to demo the sitemap editor. So to do this, we simply go into settings, customizations, customize the system. And then from here, we go to client extensions. And we go to sitemap. And within sitemap, this is where you can move these around. So if I wanted to move activities, I can move activities here. If I go, I don't really like the name of my work, not a fan of it. I want to change this to collaboration. I want to change it to that. Or if I don't like sales, I want to change this to a different title, you can change that information. If you want to move this information across to different areas, you can do that as well. So there are different things that you have the ability to do. You can also come in here and you can bring in a new area, which is up here. You can bring in a new group, which is one of these. And you can also bring in a new sub area, or bring in a new sub area, which is one of the tiles down here. Okay. Just keep in mind, you need to set the entity name. So select if it's a dashboard, an entity. Just waiting for this part to load here. Under select a type, that's where you're setting what type it is. It's entity, dashboard, URL, and I believe web resource is the other one. So that's the different pieces that you can set. You can come over here and you can copy it. You can paste it into a different area. Different things like that you can do within the sitemap. It's a really, really powerful tool that you can utilize. And then you just save and publish. And then that is all for today.
Great. Thank you, Michael, for the great content. We hope all of you enjoyed this content as well. Our next user group webinar is Tuesday, July 17th at 11 a.m. Our topic is going to be Voice of the Customer. This topic is something that we've grown really familiar with here at LedgeView by implementing it with other customers, and we want to share what we have learned with you guys. We know your summer schedules are busy, so if you cannot attend live, still register, and we will send you a link to the recording. If you have a Facebook account, join us on our LedgeView Partners Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM user group. This group is for users and admins who want to learn the latest insight, top tips, best practices, and more from your Microsoft Gold partner, LedgeView Partners. On behalf of myself, Michael, and all of us here at LedgeView, we want to thank you for taking the time to attend our user group webinar today. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great day.